Good morning, everybody. I'm gonna wait for like 30 seconds. Make sure that you all share the feed, comment. Make sure you share and invite your friends in. I never ask, but make sure you share and invite your friends in. Hey, Pauline. Hey, Nikki. Nikki, I need some new earrings. Just FYI. I don't know where my other ones went. Good morning, honey. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in to day 4, dealing with depression when you fall again. Okay, you can't hear me? Can you hear me now? Pauline, can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. If not, I'll go out and... okay. Okay, so thank you, Nikki. So today is day 4. In conclusion of dealing with depression. Let me start off by saying that I didn't think that these videos would be so helpful to so many people, and the response that I have gotten off of them is truly amazing. And so I just want to say thank you all who have shared it, who have gotten in my inbox and tell me how encouraging they are, who have left comments, who have texted and done all the above with dealing with depression. I don't currently deal with depression, but I have suffered from it, and I do have my moments when I do. Hey, Phyllis. I do have my moments when I still suffer with depression. Over the last 4 days, for anybody who hasn't watched the previous videos, I had been seeing it flow down my timeline a lot, and I thought that I would just share my story about my 5 suicide attempts in life, about being admitted into Brookwood Hospital in 2013 for 3 days and 4 nights, and my friends who actually, hey honey, who actually did the admission. And then if y'all follow me for real on Facebook, y'all know that at 10 o'clock every night I do a confession about my life and the things that I've been through. And it's not to air my dirty laundry. It's because I know privately a lot of you all suffer with the same things that I suffer with, and we try to cope with them by not discussing them, and we try to portray our lives to be something that they're not, when privately we're dealing with so much internally. And so I talked about in the last 4 days how depression it's not a loner. It comes with many things. It comes with anxiety. With me, it came with depression. With me, it came with being admitted to the hospital. With me, it came with loneliness. With me, it came with being promiscuous. With me, it came with a lot of different friends that I didn't ask to come with it. I didn't even ask for it to come alone. And yesterday we spoke on... I'm sorry. And yesterday I spoke about... some progress is better than none. And today I want to talk about when you fall again, because depression is it's like a layered onion. I think Shrek said it best. Depression is like a layered onion. Yes, you may be depressed on the surface. Yes, you may feel anxious underneath. Yes, you may be diagnosed with being bipolar. Yes, you may be suicidal underneath that. Yes, you may have all these other issues that layer with it. So even when you think you've gotten over this part of being depressed, even when you think you've gotten over this part of, okay, so I've realized that hanging around XYZ or going to XYZ makes me feel sad, or when I leave them, I feel like I took on more than I brought to the conversation with me, or I brought to the bed with me, or I brought to this with me. And I also talked about how I used to pop pills real bad. Like, I used to like Lortabs. Like, they were my friends. And I used to be really, really, really out there, contrary to what people actually believe. And so I wanted to encourage you all, even when dealing with depression, even when you've sought help and you decided, this is something that I really need to do, that it's an issue, you first have to understand that you have an issue. Everybody who's telling you that that something's wrong with you isn't out to get you. Dealing with depression may make you feel that way because it wants you to be lonely. It wants you to be popping pills. It wants you to be drinking. It wants you to be promiscuous. It wants you to lock yourself in a dark room and never come out so people can see you. It wants you to isolate yourself. It wants you to be suicidal. It wants you to be admitted to the hospital. It wants you to have all these things because it wants you to make you feel like you're lonely. And so you're avoiding things. But at the end of the day, when you begin to make progress, when you confess, the Confessions of a Lady, when you confess that you have an actual issue, it's only then that you can move on and become better. You first, with anything, with dealing with anything in life, whether it's depression, anxiety, shopping, being promiscuous, whether it's popping pills, whether it's drinking, you first have to confess that you have an issue. And then once you confess that you have an issue and you realize the triggers that make you want to do these things, then you will go off, then you can actually seek help and be receptive of help. For a very long time, my friends would tell me, Victoria, there's something wrong with you. Everybody is out to get you. But when you're dealing with depression, you feel like everybody's out to get you. You feel like, no one wants you around. You feel like you're unloved. And not only that, when dealing with depression, you also feel, for me, because I never had, I was bullied coming up in school. So therefore, when I got older, I grew this hard exterior shell saying that, people are always out to get me. So what I would do is, even if you were my friend, even if I felt that you were genuine, because I wasn't okay with myself, I would self-sabotage. I would push away from you, or I would cause an argument and then never talk to you. My friends now, so you get mad at people and never discuss what's wrong with you, and then you push them away and instead of just talking about it, because that was my coping mechanism with dealing with depression, or dealing with not being accepted, or feeling that people were, always out to get me. So I wanted to encourage you all today, even when you fall back into a state of depression again, it's okay, because you're not going to stay there longer this time than you did before, because after you realize what caused you to be depressed, you can then move on from it. So I'm not here to tell you that when dealing with depression, or when dealing with any kind of issue, that you're going to get over it tomorrow. Yes, there are some. Yes, there are some, and few and in between, that can say, today I'm going to stop drinking. Today I'm going to stop doing this. Today I'm going to stop popping pills. Today I'm going to stop, dealing with all these people. And then there is some that it takes time. That it takes time for them to actually give over. So when you fall into depression, or when you fall into anxiety, or when you fall into these things, I just want to let you all know that it's okay. Because we all have to make mistakes, and we all have to realize that what we're doing at some point will get better. But I just encourage you that when you do fall back into a state of depression, realize that it's not the ending point. Even though you realize what has caused you to be depressed, understand that it's not the end. We all fall. We're not perfect. So therefore, you have to understand that it can happen again. It can happen, it will happen, but don't beat yourself up about it. Don't become so depressed again that you don't feel that you can start over again. Like I said on day 1, starting day 3, day 2, one of them days, starting over is okay. I've started over several times. I've lost so much when dealing with depression and trying to live up to a lifestyle that, not that I couldn't afford, that I couldn't manage. So with that being said, when you fall, after you realize what caused you to be depressed, understand that it's okay. Don't beat yourself up about it, and don't let others who don't mean you no well anyway make you feel that, why you did it again, or you understood that this is an issue. Because in our society, and I'm speaking for African Americans, that we don't view mental illness as serious as we should. We believe, and don't get me wrong, that we should be able to pray about it and then that's the end of all causes. No, we actually need help. We actually need to go and sit on somebody's couch, or sit on somebody's sofa, or whatever you want to call it, and seek help, seek guidance outside of the four walls of church. Yes, we can pray about it, and yes, I'm all about praying about it and deliverance and all of that. However, mental health is just that. It's an illness, and we have to seek help outside of that. You may need to get on medication, and whenever you're feeling better about it, or feeling better after you've been on your medication, doesn't mean that you need to stop. I spoke with someone on yesterday, and they were taking their medication and they were feeling better, and then all of a sudden they stopped. I've been there too. Well, I'm taking my meds, so I'm feeling better, not realizing, that taking my meds were actually making me feel better. That makes sense. So when I got off of them, I went right back in to doing the same things that made me depressed. I went right back in to going around people who made me depressed. I went right back into toxic situations that made me feel depressed. So now I'm back, what again? Being promiscuous, popping pills, doing the most for the least cause, because I was looking to fill a void that I wasn't, I was trying to fill a void that I wasn't really ready to get over. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. So today I just wanted to be quick and simple and let you all know, when dealing with depression, even though you feel that you've gotten over it, even though you feel like, I should be over this stage, it's a process. You're going to fall again. I've never met a person who smoked cigarettes who never felt like they wanted to smoke cigarettes again. I mean, it has taken time for them to get over it. So understand, when dealing with depression, it's just like, I don't want to say just like an addiction, but it's an issue. So therefore, you have to be willing to take the steps to get over it. Once confess that you have an issue, once you do that, that alone is major. That alone is a major accomplishment. And don't let nobody tell you that it isn't. But just because you're not over it at somebody else's pace doesn't mean that you're not getting over it, because we all grow differently. We're all different when it comes to dealing with things. I have friends who deal with their issues by isolating themselves or throwing their selves into work. And so to me, it's like, well, just because you're burying it doesn't mean that you're over it, because in your today life, things that happened to you when you were younger, you don't understand how that's affecting you today. So with that being said, I won't go too long today and let you all know that when dealing with depression, you may fall. You may go back, even though you've identified what makes you depressed, people, places, or things, that it's okay when you fall. Just this time, try not, and you will not, stay there longer than you did before. So it would not do me justice to let you all know what the shirt I'm wearing is called. Also You. It's a part of the Confessions of a Lady. It's our mother and daughter mentoring program that we hold every third Thursday over at Work in Progress with our licensed therapist that's on staff named Katisha. And there we just talk about what my organization is actually about, which is domestic violence, concentrating in those concentrating in those girls ages 8 and up who've been molested or raped. All right. If y'all have any other questions, or you have any comments, or want to say something, always you can inbox me. I'm an open and transparent person. So until next time, remember that your imperfections make you perfect, and you are imperfectly perfect.